Okay, so this is the second video for coordinate geometry of the line. So in the previous video we looked at distance and length, we looked at midpoint, and we spent a lot of that video looking at the slope, and I suppose at the start we did the Cartesian plane or the coordinate plane. So we do need a lot of that for the second video, but more so all of the information we did on the slope is important for the second video. So a couple of things. The fifth part of this section is the equation of the line. Now there's different ways you can write the equation of the line. So the first way is writing it in the form y equals mx plus c. M, remember, is our slope, and c is the y-intercept. And y-intercept is where the line actually crosses the y-axis. Okay, the other way to write it will be ax plus by plus c equals 0. So it's just bringing everything to the left. Remember here our slope is m, but it's found by writing minus a over b. So minus the coefficient of x over the coefficient of y. Okay, and c again here is the y-intercept, or where the line crosses the y-axis. So just keep that in mind. Like, you might not always see the equation of the line written in the same form. So first we're going to look at finding the equation of the line. Okay, so your formula is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So you're substituting here. The m is the slope, and the x1, y1 is one point that's on the line. Okay, so they're telling us in this example that minus 3, 2 is on the line, and they're telling us that the slope of the line is 2 over 3. And they're going to ask you to find the equation of this line. So first thing I'm going to do is label the point x1, y1. And remember, I do that all the time. It's just kind of creating good habits. So we're going to sub in our information. So we've y minus y1, so y minus 2 equals m is the slope, so 2 over 3 times x minus x1, so x minus x1, so it's minus 3. Okay, when we have the minus and minus coming together, that becomes a plus. We saw that a couple of times in the previous video. Now, we need to multiply everything by 3 in order to eliminate the fraction, okay, because 3 over 3 is 1. So if I multiply this side by 3 and this side by 3, 3 times 2 is 6. And 6 divided by 3 is 2. So what ends up happening on the right hand side is the 3 over 3 just cancels and becomes a 2. Okay, so you don't need to do that every time. You just need to know that when you have your fraction, when you have your slope, okay, the 3, or the denominator of the fraction, moves to the other side and multiplies by everything on that side. And the numerator, or the top part of the fraction, multiplies by everything on the right hand side. So let's multiply this out. 3 times y is 3y. 3 times minus 2, plus by minus is minus, and 3 times 2 is 6. 2 times x is 2x. And remember, this was a plus 3. So 2 times plus 3 is plus 6. Now, at this point, this is not the equation of the line because we have two constants. So this needs to be simplified first. So I'm going to bring everything to the left. So we've minus 2x because it was positive on the right, so when we move it over it's negative. Plus 3y minus 6 was already on the left, and if we move positive 6 to the other side, it also becomes minus 6. So we've minus 2x plus 3y minus 12 equals 0. And that's the equation of our line. Okay, doesn't matter which form you write it in once you have everything simplified. Okay, they might ask you to rewrite this or give your answer in the form y equals mx plus c. So for us to do that, just going to show you as part of this example, we're going to leave 3y on the left. We're going to bring minus 2x to the other side, it becomes plus 2x. Minus 12 to the other side becomes plus 12. We're looking for y to be left on its own, so it becomes 2 over 3x plus 12 divided by 3 is 4. So either answer here would be fine. Okay, so that's finding the equation of the line formula. You're given 1 point and the slope, and we're subbing into that formula. Okay, next question, it says find the equation of the line and you're given 2 points this time. Okay, now the only difference here is that if we look at our formula, we have 2 points that form this line, or 2 points that are on the line, but we don't have the slope. So before we sub one of the points in here, we need to find the slope. Finding the slope when we have 2 points, we use our formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and I'm labeling my coordinates x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2 is 1, minus y1 is 3, x2 is 3, minus x1 is minus 2, and that here becomes a plus. So our slope, we've 1 minus 3 is minus 2, and 3 plus 2 is 5. And this here is the m that you're going to sub into the equation of the line formula. Now we only need to use 1 point that's on the line. It does not matter which point we pick. I'm going to just use minus 2 and 3 just because it was already labelled x1, y1. Alternatively, I could have used 3 and 1, which might have been a better option because there was no negative. But anyway, we'll go with this now. So we've y minus y1, so y minus 3 equals m is minus 2 over 5 times x minus x1 is minus 2. So this here minus by minus becomes plus, and remember from my last example, the 5, or the denominator, goes to the left, and the minus 2, or the numerator, multiplies everything by on the right hand side. 5 times y is 5y. 5 times minus 3 plus by minus is minus, and 3 times 5 is 15. Equals minus 2 times x is minus 2x, and minus 2 times plus 2 plus by minus is minus, and 2 by 2 is 4. Now to tidy this up, remember we would not get full marks here because we have not fully simplified the equation. So I'm going to bring everything to the left, so 2x plus 5y minus 15, and when minus 4 moves over it becomes plus 4 equals 0. It is an equation, so don't forget the equal 0 at the end. So we have 2x plus 5y minus 15 plus 4 is minus 11 equals 0. Okay, and if we wanted to rewrite that as y equals mx plus c, which they often ask us to do, we'd leave 5y on the left, we'd bring plus 2x over and minus 11 over, so they become the opposite signs. So y is equal to minus 2 over 5x plus 11 over 5. And you can leave it as fractions or decimals, it doesn't really matter, but generally our slope is written as our fraction here. Okay, so very similar to the last question. The only difference here was we weren't given the slope, so the first thing we had to do was find the slope before we went on to sub into the equation of the line. Okay. Now I talked about this a little bit already. So equation when it's written as y equals mx plus c. Okay, so if you were given a picture of a line, you should be able to rewrite y equals mx plus c, the equation of the line using this picture. So remember we said the m was the slope and the c was the y-intercept. So if I look at this line in the picture, first thing we're going to do is find the slope using the rise over the run, which we had already done in the first video. So first thing I know is my slope here is positive, because remember it's going uphill from left to right. So our slope is plus the rise between, I'm going to pick these 2 points again. So the rise is 1 over the run is the horizontal difference. So it's 1 over 1, which is just 1. So our equation is y equals 1x, and the plus c is where the line crosses the y-axis. So it's actually just 1x plus 1, or y equals x plus 1. So that's if you were to find the equation of the line from a diagram. You'd have to find the slope using rise over run, and you'd have to find the plus c by looking at where the line actually crosses. Remember, the y-axis is the vertical axis. Okay. Now here we have find the slope of the line 3x minus 2y minus 9 equals 0. So we're going to rewrite this in the form y equals mx plus c. Remember, I had previously told you that finding the slope when you're given the equation is just finding minus a over b. So it's minus 3 over b is minus 2. So the slope should end up as 3 over 2. Dividing by a minus gives a positive. So let's do it this way and see what we get. So I'm going to leave the minus 2y on the left on its own. The 3x moves to the other side and becomes minus 3x. The minus 9 moves to the other side and becomes plus 9. So leaving y on its own, we end up with minus 3x over 2. Minus 2. Remember, we're changing multiplication to division. The sign is not affected. And we've plus 9 over minus 2 again, moves over. So if we simplify that, we end up with minus dividing by a minus is plus, so it's 3 over 2x, plus divided by a minus is minus 9 over 2, or 4.5, it doesn't matter. Okay, and if we look at the slope, we get m equals 3 over 2, which we had already found by using this. Okay, so again, like, you can just use this because it's much more efficient, but they may ask you first of all to rewrite the line in the form y equals mx plus c, and then to find the slope from there. Okay, so I'm going to stop that video there, and I'll do one more video. The third video will move on to a little bit more exam questions based on perpendicular parallel lines and the area of a triangle.